Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
We begin tonight with a live look at radar. It has been a quiet night weather-wise so far here in San Antonio, but you see strong storms there are moving into our western counties. Meteorologist Katie Blake is already tracking those storms, and she'll be along in a few minutes to let us know when they might make their way to San Antonio.
Meanwhile, San Antonio health officials confirmed they are investigating another confirmed travel-related case of COVID-19 here in Bexar County. We're told the patient recently traveled to Spain. This brings the total number of confirmed travel-related cases in San Antonio to 3.
In addition, a Grand Princess cruise ship passenger under quarantine at JBSA Lackland tested positive yesterday and is being treated at a Texas healthcare facility, but they have not said where. We're also hearing tonight a USAA employee here in San Antonio has also tested positive for the virus. According to USAA, the employee has not been on the campus since March 6th and is currently being treated outside of Texas. None of the employees who had previous exposure to that person have shown any symptoms, but are preventatively under self-quarantine until March 21st.
Meanwhile, 56 COVID-19 cases have been confirmed across the state of Texas. That's according to the Texas Department of State Health Services. That's 5 more cases just since yesterday. The areas with the highest numbers include Harris County, Fort Bend County, and Dallas County.
And around the United States, there are now more than 3,000 cases of coronavirus. As of this afternoon, there were at least 3,130 cases across 49 states, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Washington, D.C. That is according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. At last check, at least 62 people have died. Airports around the country packed with people trying to make it back home in light of the Trump administration's ban on travel from European countries because of dealing with the coronavirus.
However, here in San Antonio, travel is moving smoothly. Sources say part of that reason is that the San Antonio International Airport does not have direct flights from any international locations other than Mexico.
The Night Team's Japhanie Gray spoke with travelers today coming to and from the city who described their experiences and shared thoughts on how the crisis is impacting their daily lives.
Are you at all concerned about what's going on right now?
Yeah, actually I am.
I'm not concerned. I think it's overly broadcast.
My thing is just try to get in and get out.
Travelers at the San Antonio International Airport had somewhat mixed emotions about how the coronavirus pandemic is impacting transportation around the country. Jeanette Torres says she has one main rule of thumb for her young son as they head back to Puerto Rico.
Keep his mask on.
Haley Eckert just got back to San Antonio from St. Louis.
I was walking around and everyone had masks on, everyone. There was a woman sitting next to me. She had like a mask on and she had gloves on and she did not put her tray table down. She did not touch anything.
We caught up with Keywan Jackson as he was catching a flight back to Atlanta, which is known for their busy airport. He says he's uncertain what to think.
I'm confused on whether it's hype or if it's not, but I know for a fact that I don't think I've ever in my lifetime ever seen something get to the point where it's shutting down the NBA and stuff like that.
Jay Eckert says his biggest disappointment is getting back and seeing the empty aisles and long lines at supermarkets and grocery stores.
It scares me for if something ever really does happen, the rich are going to take everything and we're all, if you're going to be stuck, if you don't have it, you don't have it. We're not helping each other out. And that's a shame.
He says he is more concerned about elderly shoppers.
It's just sad. We should take care of our older people like we've always been taught to. But for some reason, it's Black Friday every day right now. And it's just out of control and it's just not right.
They say they hope moving forward, people would use common sense while living a normal life.
Just do everything you're supposed to do to stay sanitary for the most part.
Take advantage of the deals and wash your hands.
Now, as you saw in the video, there are several signs posted throughout the airport reminding travelers to be mindful about the spread of germs. But check this out, Tim McCorney. The TSA just released that they're allowing passengers 4 times more hand sanitizers to come through security. That's 12 times or 12 ounces bottles to go in your carry-on bag. Now, just to give you guys a perspective, this right here, 1 ounce, okay? You have an 8-ounce bottle right here, and of course, the one and only 12 ounce. Of course, as you can tell, the Germex has been used up because people at the station are taking note of that policy. But again, it is going to be in place indefinitely. I also want to note that, of course, I know you saw Miss Jeanette wearing a mask on TV, but she has lupus. But the World Health Organization did say that a mask is not required, especially if you're healthy. But if you're healthy, you can still wear a mask. Just make sure you wash your hands frequently, or if you're caring for someone with coronavirus symptoms, or if you yourself are sneezing and coughing.
No need to snatch them up. People need them if they are sick.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Daphne.
The San Antonio Military Health System and Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland taking extra precautions against COVID-19.
Yeah, we learned today active military and family members who are experiencing symptoms possibly related to the virus will be screened, but not inside the facilities. Instead, in triage tents.
The night team's Stephen Cavazos now with the changes health officials are making to protect their patients and staff.
Triage tents set up at 4 locations: Wilford Hall, Randolph Clinic, Reed Clinic, and Brooke Army Medical Center. The San Antonio Military Health System and Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland announcing the tents will serve as screening locations. One of those tents seen at BAMC earlier today. A spokesperson for the hospital confirmed the tents will be operational if necessary. More than 240,000 beneficiaries can take advantage of the screenings, which are not open to the general public. Still, those beneficiaries are urged to call a 24/7 nurse advice line before coming to one of the screening locations. That way, a healthcare professional can determine the best option. Officials say they are making sure the safety of patients and staff remains a top priority. As of right now, it's still unclear what will happen to a military member who tests positive for the virus. A BAMC spokesperson said more information is expected to be released tomorrow. Now, as an extra precaution, BAMC also announced that they will be delaying elective surgeries. This will help stop the spread of infectious diseases, that is. Now, this will also allow healthcare professionals to be ready to assist for a possible increased need for acute patient care. We'll have more on the story at KSAT.com. And for now, reporting live, Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News. Tim, Courtney?
Keep in mind, we didn't have an earthquake. We didn't have a hurricane. We still have lights. We still have water. And the supply chain will still move cargo. But just to lighten it, just a little bit, I think we all have enough toilet paper.
Hays County officials are reminding people that the local state of disaster is in place to help combat the outbreak, not to increase panic. And I think he said it well. The county's first presumptive positive patient has been treated and is being self-quarantined at home.
With disaster declarations in place across the country, some positive news as a clinical trial is set to begin for a vaccine designed to protect against COVID-19. The first participant in the trial will receive the experimental vaccine tomorrow, according to a government official speaking on the condition of anonymity. The official also revealed the National Institutes of Health is funding that trial, which is taking place at a research institute in Seattle. Public health officials have said it will take a year to 18 months to fully validate any potential vaccine. In the meantime, the CDC says social distancing and good hygiene practices remain the best way to keep yourself healthy.
I know this is a lot of information, but this one's important. The president today is reminding all Americans to stop hoarding groceries and other supplies. After speaking with leading grocery chain executives, the president assured Americans that grocers would remain open and that the supply chain remained healthy. Vice President Mike Pence also urging Americans to only buy the groceries they need for the week ahead.
Back here at home, the Battle of Flowers will happen in 2020. Organizers announcing today the annual parade will move to November to coincide with the changed Fiesta date. Fiesta officials announced on Friday the citywide party will be held November 5th through the 15th. These changes, a way to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now, the Battle of Flowers Band Festival will also be held in November. Organizers say the parade is important to nonprofits, participants, and families.
If the Battle of Flowers did not step up, we would certainly not be serving our community. Let's face it, we are where Fiesta began, and we could not abandon that fact.
The decision to change the date of Fiesta comes as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommended today organizations either cancel or postpone events, which expect more than 50 attendees for the next 8 weeks.
Turning to other local headlines now, a man is in the hospital after being stabbed at a convenience store on his way to work. It happened on the east side on North Hackberry. Police were called out around 8 p.m. and when they got there, they found the victim with a stab wound in his side. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. No information is known right now about the suspect, and police say the victim is not cooperating. Police are hoping surveillance video will lead to an arrest.
A woman is dead after being hit by a vehicle while walking on the I-35 frontage road over on the northeast side. That incident happened around 3 a.m. this morning on I-35 and Weidner Road. San Antonio police say it was a hit and run, and a passerby who later saw the woman on the side of the road called police. Paramedics attempted to revive her, but they were unsuccessful and she was pronounced dead at the scene.
Turning now to the race for the presidency, Joe Biden says if he's the Democratic nominee, a woman will be his running mate.
Bernie Sanders says he is also likely to pick a woman as a running mate. The contenders made these comments during tonight's Democratic debate, which was also dominated by coronavirus.
Mary Maloney has more from Washington.
Amid the coronavirus pandemic, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders participated in an unconventional debate. Instead of shaking hands, they bumped elbows and attempted to prove their leadership qualities to a country staring down a crisis.
This is like a war. And in a war, you do whatever is needed to be done to take care of your people.
In the midst of this crisis, we have got to act in an unprecedented way.
Due to coronavirus concerns, the debate moved from Phoenix to a studio in Washington, D.C. with no audience. The podium stood at least 6 feet away, adhering to social distancing guidelines. Issues related to the virus dominated the debate.
As a result of the virus here, the coronavirus, what we have got to do also is understand the fragility of the economy and how unjust and unfair it is that so few have so much and so many have so little.
People are looking for results, not a revolution.
This is a pivotal point in the race for president. Sanders hopes to keep his progressive message at the top of mind.
We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people.
It has nothing to do with Bernie's Medicare for all.
The dominant frontrider, Biden, faces two challenges: bringing Sanders supporters to his camp and focusing on the man they all want to beat, President Donald Trump.
The existential threat to the United States of America is Donald Trump.
In Washington, I'm Mary Maloney.
Good evening. Taking a look outside with live cam. 66 degrees in San Antonio. Overcast skies. Few passing showers today. Overall, though, weather has been pretty quiet through the course of the day. That's not the case, though, for our neighbors well off to the west. We've been watching some strong to severe thunderstorms moving in from West Texas and the higher terrain of northern Mexico tonight. Right now, the remaining severe thunderstorm watch is out for Valverde County, including Del Rio. Strongest part of this thunderstorm cluster is moving into Comstock now with winds up to 50 miles per hour. I had to remove the lightning. There's so much lightning. You can't even see where we're looking at here. So we've got a big wind threat moving into a portion of Valverde County north of Del Rio right now. I'll be right back in just a few minutes to take another look at this radar, let you know when these storms could potentially arrive in San Antonio.
Much more still to come here on the Nightbeat, including the latest on the coronavirus and how it's impacting the country. Vice President Mike Pence with an update on the state of testing for the virus nationwide. Plus, it's time for another What's Up South Texas. This week, how a man and his dog are serving those in need.
We know with all of this stuff about COVID-19, it's very overwhelming. There's a lot of information, but we've got it in a compact spot right here on KSAT.com, and we want to show you how you can get all of the information you need.
Just go to our website, KSAT.com. You keep hearing us tell about it when we're reading these stories. Go there for more information. All you want to do is go here. There is a coronavirus tab, and it takes you to all of our stories. It tells you how fresh they are. And there's so much information here. Our web team working overtime. One of the most important things that we have here is obviously the school districts. Lots of schools are closed this week. So as those come in, we will be posting them there, and you will know when school is back in session. You'll obviously be able to find all these schools here. Another important thing that we have is this map that shows where coronavirus is and all of this information. Now, it shows currently right now that there are, sorry, I got to step in here to make this a little bigger so we can see it. But currently there are 168,074 total confirmed cases. Deaths at this point, 6,479. But an important number that you keep telling us about that we're not reporting is that 77,235 people have recovered. Yes, people are recovering in big numbers. But right now, 55,000 of those are from China, where all this started. And that's the information is there. We're not hiding it from you at all.
And it is being updated constantly. We have a whole digital team looking at it. We've also compiled some other important information. This is the ultimate guide from preparedness and prevention. You have all of these sources. So we're coming up with this information from experts. We have all kinds of experts on hand that we've been talking to since this began. And of course, one of the most important things, what are your questions? We have all of the questions that you have already asked. SAQ stands for San Antonio Questions. If you scroll all the way down here to the bottom, there is a form we have built into the website where you can submit your question. We will ask the experts and we'll get right back to you. So make sure you're monitoring all of these pages. And if it's not enough for you, you can definitely ask us your own individual question.
Lots of questions have been asked. Some of you are asking the same questions over and over. So if they've been answered, look at that page first. If you don't see it, ask the question again, and we will get an answer for you as quickly as we can. Obviously, coronavirus, a big story tonight. Weather also becoming a story as well.
We're seeing some severe weather on the radar.
It's been a while. Spring season. Now we're getting into thunderstorm season, and some of our westernmost counties have some of the driest earth here, and so they really need some good rain. Maybe no hail or wind issues, but some good healthy rain. And it looks like they're going to get a dose of some rain tonight as some strong thunderstorms move on through. We haven't had any severe thunderstorm warnings come out just yet, which is a good sign, because as we get farther and farther into the night, the chances of any real big severe thunderstorms developing are going to continue to go down. And the trend you'll see with radar is that as these storms continue to move east, they will gradually weaken. But we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for Val Verde County out until 11 o'clock tonight. Main concerns with any storms will be for hail and also for some damaging winds. No one else in the KSAT viewing area is under a severe thunderstorm watch. And the way these storms are behaving right now, there may not be a watch issued for anyone else. We'll keep an eye on that for you, though. So we've got storms west of 35 tonight. They'll continue to move east over the next several hours, but gradually weaken and begin to fall apart as they do so. However, for San Antonio, a pre-dawn rumble of thunder is certainly not out of the question. So here's our current situation right now. We've had a few little straggler showers out in front of this line of storms, which extends all the way up into the northern part of Texas. There are some storms just west of the DFW Metroplex tonight, but we're going to focus on our area. Of course, we've got a good amount of thunderstorm activity here, a lot of lightning with these storms. I want to show you something that we call echo tops. This is basically storm tops, or how tall these storms are. The taller a storm is, the stronger it could be, the greater potential for it to produce more damaging winds and also potentially some larger hail. So where you see the brighter orange colors getting into the red color, those are the higher echo tops or higher storm tops. So our strongest storm is north of Del Rio in Val Verde County, moving off to the east. Now I've switched over to the hail product here, and luckily there's really not much to see. Our radar is detecting maybe a very small hail core there near Comstock north of Del Rio, but really that's it. So we're transitioning now into more of a concern for some damaging winds as these storms continue to progress through the rest of the night. So I want to get down to where the strongest storm is. Again, it's not severe, which is good, which generally means its winds are going to be below 55 miles per hour. But looking at radar, the Weather Service does believe that the winds here kind of on this leading edge of this bright red color right here, those winds could be up to about 50 miles per hour. So the worst of the wind is right along this leading edge, that bright red color there. So it's already through Comstock and it's already past Highway 90. It's going to continue to move off to the east toward 277. So Carter Valley, as you get into Edwards County, we'll be watching this portion of the storm for you, because this does look like the strongest storm that we have in this bigger cluster of thunderstorms. There's also a ton of lightning in this storm as well, so that is something else to consider. But again, no threat of hail. Some smaller storms out in front of that bigger line of storms are moving into northern Edwards County. They're north of Rock Springs and 377. Just some flashes of lightning, some brief heavy rain, but no hail issues for you guys either. So again, it's pretty quiet for most of us, but I am anticipating this line of storms to continue to move east overnight. Again, keeping in mind that it will gradually start to weaken and fall apart a bit as it does so. But for our counties up in the hill country, down through Uvalde County, Maverick County, Eagle Pass, these storms will be moving through while you're sleeping tonight. So please don't be alarmed if you hear some rumbles of thunder. Make sure you have a way to get severe weather alerts in case any of these storms want to try to misbehave tonight. Pulse up, get a little bit stronger. Make sure you have the KSAT weather app on your phone so that you'll be alerted if a severe warning is issued for your area. As these storms continue to move east, we're at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. They're really starting to lose a lot of their gusto. However, this high resolution model does bring some of these storms closer to I-35 in San Antonio through dawn tomorrow morning. So I am going to leave in a mention of some scattered pre-dawn thunderstorms that should be on the weaker side for San Antonio early tomorrow morning. We're talking about some rumbles of thunder, some flashes of lightning, some heavier rain that may wake you up a little bit earlier than you were hoping for tomorrow morning. We'll get into tomorrow afternoon, just some isolated showers, but look at tomorrow night. We've got another potential complex of storms coming in from the west. So this setup we've got going into this week is pretty messy. Several upper level disturbances moving in, keeping chances of of showers and storms in the forecast. So here's your forecast for San Antonio through about 3 o'clock in the morning. Just some isolated showers possible. I think 5 to 7 a.m. is our best chance for some scattered non-severe thunderstorms as what's left of that line makes it to town. And then we'll get into the rest of the day. Monday, just cloudy with some isolated showers. But we're going to keep chances of thunder showers in the forecast each day this week. Not raining all day, every day, but some periods of showers and storms like what we're seeing tonight will be possible.
And you guys will keep track of it.
Yes.
Throughout the whole day and night.
Yes.
Thanks, Katie.
Got you covered on all fronts. We'll be right back with more. Let's talk sports. The NFL players have approved a new collective bargaining agreement that is good for the next 10 years. What does that mean for the Dallas Cowboys and their efforts to re-sign Dak Prescott? Let's find out and see what else is on the 27th anniversary of Instant Replay tonight. Greg, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Happy birthday. And we have something to talk about tonight as well. Will the Spurs start playing again, or is there a chance their season is over? Coming up tonight on a brand new anniversary edition of Instant Replay. In a narrow vote to approve, the NFL players have given their okay, a new collective bargaining agreement, which will increase the regular season to a 17-game, reduce the preseason to just 3, not to mention 2 more games in the postseason. What does this mean to the Dallas Cowboys, who are trying to re-sign both quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver Amari Cooper? We will show you.
The game tonight has been postponed. You are all safe. And take your time in leaving the arena tonight and do so in an orderly fashion.
Our San Antonio Spurs are still in limbo. Our NBA Commissioner Adam Silver suspended all league operations following Rudy Gobert's positive coronavirus test. How long could the league be shut down? And when play resumes, does the NBA pick up play in the regular season or the postseason? And does that leave the Spurs out in the cold?
We believe this is the right thing. I feel terrible for the seniors.
The NCAA first told us that March Madness would proceed with limited access and tournament time. Now college basketball season is over. And today the NCAA told us they won't even release the brackets. Did they make the right decision? It's just one of the topics that sports guys will tackle tonight. All that plus, you can be a part of our 27th anniversary celebration tonight. And what happens now in Dallas thanks to the new NFL collective bargaining agreement? Tonight, you decide. Instant Replay is live, and it is after the Nightbeat. So plenty to talk about tonight.
That young man behind you there.
Oh.
Oh, Greg.
Just a couple of years ago.
Just a few years ago. Thank you so much, Greg. Sure. Coming up on the Nightbeat, how the federal government is offering some financial relief amid the coronavirus crisis.
And forget best in show, this dog is best in the community. What's Up South Texas is coming up.
New updates this half hour on the coronavirus crisis here in the U.S. Chick-fil-A just announcing it will temporarily be closing its dining room seating only.
And in New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio says he plans to sign an executive order tomorrow ordering the temporary closure of nightclubs, movie theaters, and concert venues. His order will also limit restaurants, bars, and cafes to takeout and delivery orders.
A similar emergency declaration shutting down bars, restaurants, and places of entertainment in Washington state as well as Ohio and Illinois. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates in the hopes of offering some relief to the economy as the coronavirus pandemic leads to closures and cancellations that will have a dramatic impact on the economy.
With all the updates and the latest, here's Megan Trevisian.
With over 3,200 cases of COVID-19 across the country, U.S. officials taking dramatic measures to slow down the spread of the novel coronavirus. In New York City, the country's largest school district will close Monday until at least April 20th, maybe longer.
And it's very painful. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of families.
The entire state of Ohio and other cities and towns, people in the U.S. closing bars and restaurants. In Illinois, ordering restaurants to only allow drive-through and delivery services.
This is not a joke. No one is immune to this.
California taking similar actions, but also asking seniors 65 and older to stay home.
We recognize that social isolation for millions of Californians is anxiety-inducing, but we recognize what all of the science bears out.
Also tonight, the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates again, this time to near 0%. Since record highs last month, the Dow is now down 21%. President Trump, critical of the Fed in the past, now applauding the move.
And I want to congratulate the Federal Reserve. That's a big difference, quite a bit, about a point.
This as hospitals brace themselves for a surge of patients, but facing shortages in the necessary protective gear. One nurses association asking Americans if they purchased N95 masks needed by health professionals to donate them to the people fighting on the front lines.
We are very concerned that when this virus peaks, that we have enough of this equipment for our nurses to take care of our patients properly.
Health experts in the U.S. trying to keep the country from facing the crisis confronting Italy, where the COVID-19 pandemic has claimed the largest number of lives in one day since the pandemic began. Megan Tavrizian, ABC News, New York.
Vice President Mike Pence will not be tested for coronavirus. A White House physician says testing Pence at this time isn't necessary. Pence currently heads the administration's coronavirus task force. President Trump took the test after it was revealed he had contact with several people who have since tested positive. His test came back negative yesterday. The White House is now taking the temperature of people who come into close contact with the president and vice president.
Good evening. A look outside with live cam. Quiet right now in San Antonio. Our skies are mostly cloudy. It is warm and it is humid out there. That is for sure. Temperature of 66 degrees right now in the Alamo City. We've got a complex of thunderstorms that is well off to our west. I can see my computer trying to work right now. I think it's up there. But we've got some storms off to the west. None are severe at this time, but there are some very strong winds just north of Del Rio, moving out of Comstock. Some winds up to about 50 miles per hour. We'll take another look at radar coming up here in a few minutes. Let you know when those storms could potentially make it to San Antonio.
And still to come here on the Night Beat, a dog who can't see or hear but has had a major impact in his community. It's What's Up, South Texas, and it's next. Some lighter news now. When he's not raiding a chip bag off of picnic tables at various social events, he is serving others in need of therapy. We are talking about Braille, the unique therapy canine from Seguin who doesn't let his limitations stand in the way of helping people.
I'm glad a person isn't eating off
Yes.
He and his owner are next on What's Up South Texas, where we highlight unique stories in our community. Japhanie Gray shows us why Braille is one dog who should not be underestimated.
Here we go. If everybody did one right thing, there wouldn't be many wrong things. So I took him.
He may seem like a normal and playful dog, but this 11-year-old pooch is far from normal. He's blind and deaf, and his name happens to be Braille.
First thing is they feel sorry for him.
Despite his limitations, Braille is also an active therapy canine who provides friendship, companionship, and entertainment to anyone who needs it.
He would have been euthanized, and what a waste that would have been because he does so much.
When Braille was 6 months old, his owner and partner, Kelly Kinney, was reluctant to accept him from the Guadalupe County Animal Control.
I thought they were crazy. I live in the country. What am I going to do with a blind, deaf, 6-month-old puppy? And then I felt bad, and I brought him home.
Turned out, Braille was more independent and capable than she thought.
Even I started to notice there was something special about him.
Like his name, Braille uses his paws to feel where he is at and where he is going.
Good boy.
He responds to touch commands since he can't hear them.
I go up and down, and he knows that's his command to lay down.
But something a command could not teach him, how to have a larger-than-life personality.
He does snort when he gets very excited, especially when he is roughhousing with some children. Braille pretty much just likes everything, except for dog treats and dog food. He drinks red wine. He loves to ride the carousel. It looks like a hood ornament on the ride.
Though Braille is extremely spoiled, he's 100% healthy. But the thing that keeps him going the most, his love and compassion for those with disabilities at Morgan's Wonderland.
He is especially fond of children with autism or Down syndrome.
Struggling with ADHD and a learning disability, Kelly says Braille has inspired her self-confidence.
I have learned more about compassion, forgiveness, acceptance, and strength and bravery from this dog.
Though he can't talk, Braille's impact has an important lesson behind it.
It doesn't matter if you are blind, deaf, autism, Down syndrome, it doesn't matter. Everybody's equal.
And that's a good boy for What's Up South Texas.
He's the one that makes the difference. I'm just along for the ride.
Now, even though Kelly gives Braille all of the credit for what he does in the community, she too deserves just as much credit. Her compassion and sense of humor adds to Braille being able to live his life to the fullest. Now, you can find Braille at any social event, especially at Morgan's Wonderland and Fiesta, where you can get one of these cool things. Either way, for What's Up South Texas, I'm Daphne Gray. Stay with us.
Spring break is upon us, and if you want to get the kiddos out of the house and outside for a little bit, we've got a really fun outdoor activity that is all about the movement of water. All right, two really important things for this experiment. Because we're going to puncture a water balloon, make sure that you're outside somewhere so that things don't get too crazy messy. Also, make sure that there's a parent or guardian around, because we are going to have to use a sharp tool to puncture the water balloon. So we'll need water balloons. You can make as many as you like, whatever shape or color. You'll need a bowl to hold the water balloon, and then something to catch the water that will eventually come out of the balloon. But if you're outside on your patio and you don't mind that your patio gets a little bit wet, that's fine too. Sidewalk can get wet, totally okay. You'll need some electrical tape, and make sure it's electrical tape because it's going to get wet, and so it'll need to hold its shape. Masking tape is not going to work for this. And then why you need your parent, a sharp object, something like a box cutter. That's what we're going to use today. First things first, we have our balloon in the bowl, and then we're going to put the electrical tape on the balloon. And you want to do this in a square, but make sure that the center is a pretty small surface area. So it's almost like you're making a pound sign here with the electrical tape, so that you want a small center, and that's where we're going to puncture the balloon. Now that we've got our tape on our balloon, it's time to puncture a hole in it, and then the water will start to come out. Here we go. All right, let's try this again with a slightly bigger balloon. Pay attention to how different the water looks when it's going into the pan than when it's coming out of the balloon. Check it out. So this water coming out of the balloon, it almost looks like it's not moving. That's because it has laminar flow, which means it's moving at the same velocity. It all has the same characteristics. This flow going into the pan, that's turbulent flow. That means the water is getting mixed and moved in different directions, and that's why it looks different. So even though it looks like this water isn't moving, it totally is. Put your own little twist on this activity by changing the size of the hole on the balloon. If you make it bigger or smaller, how does that change things? We hope you enjoyed this outdoor activity during spring break. And when all is said and done, take all those leftover balloons and have yourself a good old-fashioned water balloon fight. Katie Blake, KSAT 12 News.
Water balloon fights in the studio? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
For sure.
I'm like, no, I just had one at my house and I'm still picking up the stuff. And you have that one there that you just did, and then in our KSAT Kids newsletter that we put out, you have some more science experiments on that, correct?
Yes. We go to KSAT Kids. There's a ton of some stuff you can do with the kids, maybe not going to school.
Exactly.
Again, this week you'll need some things to do, and we'll try to keep those experiments coming, get you a few more this week to keep everyone nice and busy. Let's turn our attention to the forecast. I want to give you a look at the planner for San Antonio starting midnight tonight through noon tomorrow. Our best chance to see some non-severe storms will be between about 5 and 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, as what's left of a line of storms out west makes it to town. Otherwise cloudy with just some chances of isolated showers. Here's a look at Doppler radar right now. Pretty quiet for most of us, including here in San Antonio. But we've got a line of storms moving in from West Texas and the higher terrain of northern Mexico. No severe thunderstorm warnings as of this time, which is really good, because as we go through the rest of the night, as these storms continue to move east, they're going to continue to gradually weaken and fall apart. So if we're not severe right now, really don't see a very big window for any storms to become severe over the next couple of hours as they continue to move off to the east. But these are still some strong thunderstorms, and for some of us, it's been a while since we've had some healthy thunderstorms here. So let's zoom in a little bit closer. The part of this broken line, the severe the thunderstorm cell that I'm most concerned about is this storm here that is moving out of Valverde County, north of Del Rio, into northern Kinney County and southern Edwards County. We've got kind of what looks like what we would call a bowing segment here, which basically just means there are some really strong winds here moving into Carter Valley, into southern Edwards County, northern Kinney County there. Del Rio, you just missed out on the worst part of this storm. So that's some good news. But we've got what's looking like 50-mile-per-hour winds moving into Carter Valley here pretty shortly. Switching over to the hail product, there is nothing to see here. There is maybe a very small hail core in this storm, but this is not a hail producer. This is more of a wind maker there that is moving into northern Kinney County and southern Edwards County there. So let's go back and get another look at where the strongest winds would be, kind of right along this leading edge of the red here that's crossing 277, continuing to move due east, maybe with a little northeasterly tick. But if you're in Carter Valley, just know that some strong winds up to 50 miles per hour will be coming your way fairly shortly. But this line does extend farther to the south. It just hasn't made it to southern Kinney County and Maverick County just yet. But these storms will continue to move east, as I said, gradually weakening, but still producing some strong winds, frequent lightning, and also heavy rain. But I do think we're past our potential for large hail. So the only concern with these storms overnight will really just be some noisy, gusty winds, thunder and lightning as well, along with some periods of heavy rain as that broken line of storms continues to move off to the east. So we're at midnight. Storms are moving out of Valverde County into Kinney and Edwards County. We get into 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. These storms continue to make eastward progress through portions of the hill country, approaching Uvalde County there and some of our southwesternmost counties. We get closer to 4 o'clock in the morning. Some of these storms are approaching I-35 down to the south of San Antonio. And then in the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning, what's left of this line is expected to make it to I-35 and San Antonio. That would mean some rumbles of thunder for us here in San Antonio and Bexar County, some flashes of lightning. But again, these storms are likely at their peak right now. So by the time they get here early tomorrow morning, they're going to be even weaker than they are right now. So we're really just looking at some rumbles of thunder, a noisy start to the day tomorrow. But look at tomorrow night. Things quiet down tomorrow evening, but tomorrow night, another complex of storms coming out of West Texas is possible. And we're going to really just have to watch things day to day this week. There is a chance of showers and storms in the forecast each day this week. Our weather pattern is very messy, which lends itself to what we're seeing tonight, periods of showers and thunderstorms with rain chances peaking Friday. That'll be along a cold front, and that really cools us off for next weekend. So there's a lot going on here. We'll keep you updated. Keep your KSAT weather app handy on your phone because you'll get alerts that way, and we'll send out forecast updates as well.
You won't need as much rain, Garrett, because we're sticking home.
Right, there you go.
Thanks, Katie. The coronavirus pandemic has hit the weekend box office, dropping it to a 20-year low. Look at the numbers next.
Seven months after it was supposed to hit theaters, The Hunt opened in 5th place, taking in $5.3 million. The Invisible Man dropped from 2nd to 4th place on ticket sales of $6 million. Bloodshot, starring Vin Diesel, began its run in 3rd place with $9.3 million.
It's a date. What? No, that's not a date.
The faith-based film I Still Believe was the weekend's top new movie, earning $9.5 million to debut in 2nd place.
Quick! Somebody help me! These Griffin nuggets were supposed to go out minutes ago!
Pixar's Onward kept the weekend crown, but made just $10.5 million, a 73% drop from the previous weekend. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The NBA is not the only season on hold. How about the boys' high school state basketball tournament? When could that resume?
And tonight we celebrate 27 years of Instant Replay with a look back at the last 52 episodes that gave us 2019. With more on what's an Instant Replay, let's head over to Greg Simmons. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. And we have cake tonight as well. So stay tuned for that. And a Southwest High School family that is producing track and field stars coming up tonight on the 27th anniversary edition of Instant Replay.
It's crazy. Last night you hear the NBA shuts down, and this morning NHL shuts down, and NCAA shuts down. This is like, it's crazy.
Yeah, this is nuts. The boys' high school basketball tournament got underway this past week in San Antonio, only to be halted on the afternoon of the first day of competition. The Cole Cougars managed to advance to the state finals, but Wagner and Brandeis never managed to take the court in the Alamo Dome. What is the UIL hoping to do to crown state champs before the school year is out? Our Andrew Seeley will visit with all the teams, plus San Antonio's SC's USL season on hold. Andrew also visits with one of the familiar faces on the roster, goalie Matt Cardoni.
she dumped me. This was a while ago. Right. And I've never let go of it. For those of you at home, we've had to stop action on the ice several times. Yeah. Feral cats have run onto the ice. Once saw Jeff Carter with his shirt off in the locker room.
You did? What was your reaction?
He's got the goods.
Instant Replay has been 27 years in the making. Tonight we celebrate our anniversary with a look back at the big moments in 2019. The National Hockey League has also joined the NBA in suspending operations. That also means no games for the San Antonio Rampage in what could be and is their last season in San Antonio. Our Jessica Hunt will have all that for you, plus the story of a Southwest High School family that has produced an All-American and a state champion in track and field. All that plus, the NFL is still in business, making a big move today to keep the peace between the owners and the players for the next 10 years. And we've got cake as part of our 27th birthday party. Instant Replay is live, and it's next. And don't worry about bringing the plates. We've got them for you.
You had me at cake.
Gotcha.
Cake. David Sears is already in the studio.
We're ready to go.
Gotta stay put.
Thanks so much, Greg.
We'll be right back.